Now, the High Court will decide today whether asylum seekers can be housed at the Bell Hotel in Essex.
Ahead of the ruling, the Conservatives have criticised the government for putting illegal migrants before local communities by appealing the decision.
Deputy Party Chair Matt Vickers joins us from his constituency. Matt Vickers, just give you some numbers. 56,000 people in hotels. That's £9 million a day. That's being spent by hard-earned money from taxpayers across the country. You'd agree that that is an intolerable amount of money, correct?
It's atrocious. It's atrocious as a sum of money. It's atrocious in terms of the pressure it's placing on...
Can I stop you just for a second? Because those were the numbers in September 2023 when the Conservatives, your party, were in government. They've gone down since then. So why should we believe anything that you have to say about it?
It went down under the last government. So I wasn't administering the last government, but the hard, real facts are that the number of people in hotels was reduced by nearly half towards the end of the back end of the last government. And actually, if we'd carried on that trajectory, there wouldn't be anyone in hotels now. We were moving people out to army barracks. We were moving people looking at alternative accommodation that is not as costly, that does not place the pressure that this places on local communities. People with fear for their wives and children walking around.
It was 56,000 people when you were in government. That's September 2023. The only alternative, the only alternative plan that you came up with was a £715 million plan to deport people on flights to Rwanda. That, of course, didn't work. Now, what exactly are the plans that you would have if you were to be in government moving forward?
There was two things that were happening. One was we were reducing the number of people who were in hotels. It nearly halved by the end of the last government. But the reality is we brought forward that bill. To be honest, we don't care where you send them. If you need to send people back to where they came from, and if you can't do that, you need to send them somewhere else. That's what Rwanda was all about, deporting people who have broken into this country, who've come in illegally, removing them, sending them back to wherever they came from. And if that can't happen, Rwanda, those people now, under this Labour government, aren't going to Rwanda. They're going to Redcar, to Romford, to Richmond. They're being dumped all over the country. That is not the way forward. If you break in, the only way to end this crisis is to send a clear message to people that if you break into this country, you will not be allowed to stay. We've got a deportation bill. It's there. It's ready. If the government wanted to, they could put it in place tomorrow. We'd disapply the Human Rights Act on cases of immigration. We would put visa sanctions on countries who refuse to take people back. We would get people home. And if they couldn't go home, they would be going elsewhere. They would not be the burden on the British taxpayer.
Well, I can ask you elsewhere where in a moment, but 70% of people, roughly, just under, who apply for asylum are actually granted it. And one of the practical questions for now, in the event that the court decides, right, this hotel can't be used for asylum seekers, is that we have 138 asylum seekers. Where are they supposed to go? Where would you put them?
Well, first and foremost, the Conservative councillors who brought forward that challenge in Epping were right to do so. If we can get this thing through, we will go across the country getting other councillors to do the same thing, to take these people out of the centre of communities where they're placing pressure on public services, where people are concerned about going to the town centre. They're also having a huge economic impact because they're taking bedrooms, hotel bedrooms, out of circulation, huge damage to local hospitality businesses. But the reality is, A, you need to put them somewhere else. We said we would look at camps, but moreover, you just need to send that clear message. If you come here, you will not be allowed.
Sorry, what camps are you referring to? Sorry, what sort of camps?
We will look to camps. We actually looked at using disused army barracks before the general election. We had nearly halved the number of people in these hotels. The reality is you need to stop people coming. And what this government done is actually the opposite of that. There are now nearly 50% more people arriving in this country. That's because Keir Starmer changed the law. He said if you break into the country, you can become a British citizen. What message does that send to these people?
I don't think Sir Keir Starmer has ever said that. I don't think he's ever said that at all.
It's a fact. He has changed the law to allow people who come here illegally to become British citizens. That is a fact. It was illegal before. We put it in black and white. If you break in, you can't become a British citizen.
OK, hang on. Sorry, Rob, just 1 second. Right. So one of the things that you need to do is you need to negotiate where they're going to go back to. It's not... I'm not a member of the government in any way, shape or form, but you've said a lot of things there that we just need to help people understand. First of all, they've negotiated a deal with France, the first time which the Conservative government weren't able to return, and they've said all the way along they want to smash the gangs and indeed stop the illegal crossings. What you haven't answered is the question, which is, in the short term, where would you put people that need to be processed? You've mentioned camps, but effectively they aren't built, so how quickly would you be able to build them? There is a practical problem for which asylum hotels solved during the Conservative government. They brought them in, that I still don't understand how you were going to solve.
So, in terms of where you are putting people, we had the last government, towards the back end, had halved the number of people in hotels by looking at disused army barracks, by looking at alternative accommodation. We had the Bibi Stockholm, for instance. We had disused army barracks. We're saying you set up camps. You cannot dump these people in the town centre.
The Labour Party also looked at camps as well. I mean, both governments have. I think what people...
The reality is that since they came to office, the number of people arriving in the country has gone up, not just a little bit, it's gone up hugely, by nearly 50%. The number of people in hotels has gone up hugely, and the number of people being deported who've arrived here illegally has gone down. The entire dashboard is flashing red. It's going the wrong way. You need to tell people that if they come here illegally, they will not be allowed to stay. Until that happens, these people are going to continue to come in ever-increasing numbers.
Well, it's good to talk to you today, Matt Vickers. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.